Hi, I'm Brad, and I love When Calls to Heart.
Hey, it's Panda, and I like When Calls to Heart.
Hey there, it's Dan. I despise When Calls the Heart.
And this is the
Hallmark Podcast.
Nailed it. Yes, sir. Hello, everybody.
You're the yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Man, it feels good. When Calls to Heart.
People that say yes, sir commit to it.
Yes, sir.
They don't do it occasionally like you just did.
Yes, sir.
Like the people that do that, I hear it like
Yes, sir.
a dozen times. Yes, sir.
No,
Yes,
no,
sir. There's a
no
Z in there.
S.
Right. Yes, sir.
It's all
Yes,
Z's
Yes, sir.
over here.
Yeah.
Guys, how are you?
So great now that we're talking
Oh, my
about When Calls the Heart.
That's
So
exactly right. That's
great.
exactly right. Guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much fun has Christmas in July been so far?
10. Thought we were all going to say it together, guys. It was show prep and everything.
Why don't we try it again?
Okay, here we go.
Guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, how fun has Christmas in July been so far? 10.
I'm sorry, I missed it, guys.
Okay.
I
Can we try
froze.
one more
I froze.
Yep. No. Okay. We'll try.
get it right this time.
I've got
Guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, how fun has Christmas in July been so far?
10. Tracy.
Sorry.
Gosh.
Do it one more
we
time?
said it was going to be 10.
Yeah. And
Okay,
you weren't
10.
even supposed to talk. There was just
What?
the brand Dan and Panda. That's it. It says it right in the notes.
So you don't want Rick?
Have you heard, Rick?
No.
Okay.
Hey, guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, how fun has Christmas in July been so far?
10.
Rick?
We nailed it, boys. Very good job.
You
Everybody
did get a
across
10.
the
Thanks for
board.
saying 10.
I'm in for it. Yeah, it was 10 of 10 for me.
Rick, how are ticket sales for Boss Babe Fest?
Oh, they're through the roof. I even got an extra turn in the nerd pit down at Fitzy's.
What? Break
You
that
know,
down.
Because you sold so many tickets.
Yeah.
You got a extra turn
in
and the
you know,
nerd
You
pit?
get rotated in like once a month, but I got a second turn.
What's the nerd
Well,
pit?
it's just your typical nerd pit. It's a big old pit full of the world's greatest hard candy nerds. Just filled to the brim with them. And you jump in there and you just eat as many as you can eat in a minute and a half.
Ew.
Seems.
So everybody's
Wait
mad.
a minute. They clean it after every. It's not your mother's nerd pit. Not like.
Yeah. So
Why don't you tell me more, Rick, about my
how do
mother's
they
nerd pit?
how do they clean it? How do they clean it?
Oh, they put more nerds in.
Oh,
And yeah, they try to shine them up real good.
wow. Well,
No one's died yet.
that
no
you
one
know
died yet.
that you know
And I
of,
got an extra turn.
and you got an extra
So
turn.
the joke's on you.
How many nerds did you get?
Oh, I ate more than the stomach would allow. little
you threw 'em up?
little bit of puke seat.
Oh gosh,
It was mostly on the outside of the nerd pit, though.
but
so
not all, not
I mean,
entirely.
they dumped a lot more on top of it, so it's okay.
You can't just keep dumping more on top.
No one has died yet.
Yes,
Man, you know,
that's
sometimes,
Fitzy's tagline.
sometimes I feel like Rig starts a sentence off and then doesn't know what's going to happen
Yeah.
next.
Nerd
It's
pit.
wild.
It's a nerd pit.
It's the old, it's your classic nerd
It's your
pit.
classic nerd pit. Well, thank you. Well, should we just get into it?
Yeah, I guess we should. For all of those
Should we just dive
who are
into this-
still with us
dive
and have
into
not
this?
turned the podcast off.
Dive into this nerd pit. This episode is season 7, episode 7. It's a 707 situation, everybody. What do you guys think the name of this episode is? Panda?
I don't care.
My gosh. They go and see a famous author.
Kill the heart.
No?
Heart,
Whatever happened to Virginia Hart?
heartstrings of a marionette puppet that doesn't have a heart.
Heart
but
of a
wants
writer.
one.
Heart of a writer,
But
guys.
they're trying their
Heart of
best
a
to
writer.
lie their way to a heart.
Originally aired on
Even
April.
though they're still just a wood net puppet. Is that it? Is it what I just said?
Yes.
I think it's yours.
It originally aired on April 5th, 2020, I mean.
2020.
it
Try
went a
to get
little-
me out of this year. You try and stop me.
You never say more.
You say more.
Okay. And it went a little something like this. Nathan comes by to give Elizabeth an apple, and to let her know that he's been called away to be a witness on a trial, hotshot. On the way out, he sees Lucas also coming to the school while in session, and he's like, you better hurry, recess is almost over. Lucas asked Elizabeth if he would join him for a Virginia Woolf reading. Elizabeth is taken aback, but not opposed. Jesse the Face and Clara are back from their honeymoon, and everyone is pumped to see him.
Yeah.
Elizabeth tells Rosemary about Lucas inviting him, and she's like, I can't go. I don't want him to have the wrong idea, but she really does want to go, so I wonder if she'll go. Lucas asks Gowan if he can borrow his car. Gowan never drives the car himself, says yes. Then Gowan goes to see Carson because his tummy hurts. Elizabeth finds Lucas and agrees to go with him, but tells him that it's not a date. Carson tells Gowan that he has high blood pressure, which happens when you're stressed. So I'll give you some tummy meds, and I need you to take a time out. Lucas is beginning to be weary of Gowan and his financial books. So Elizabeth heads out of town with Lucas, and Rosemary is walking around with baby Jack. Baby Jack, baby Jack, baby Jack, baby Jack. Now we will not do that.
Yeah, I'm winded. That was a lot. Gosh, it always gets me, that last one. I'm like, I'm running. Oh, man.
So we're not going to say that every time I say baby Jack.
Baby Jack, baby Jack, baby Jack, baby Jack.
And Nathan sees him and is like, it's nice of you to give Elizabeth a little break. And she's like, oh, gosh, you clearly don't know the half of it. When the town starts to gossip about it, they act weird around him. He's just baffled by what's going on. Elizabeth and Lucas stop for a picnic, and she realizes that he really went all out on this trip. Rosemary and Lee can't find baby Jack's toy dog anywhere. He's a mess without the dog. They're a mess with him being a mess. Everyone's a mess. Old MacDonald had a farm. Allie tells Nathan about...
That was so much better than the delivery. Like, you underplayed it so perfectly.
Allie tells Nathan...
Really good job, man.
Allie tells Nathan about Elizabeth and Lucas, and he's really annoyed. So he chops wood, and we're all better for it. Then he has a heart-to-heart with Bill, because, I don't know, Bill's just everyone's dad. Elizabeth has a great time at the reading, and Lucas and her go to a very nice dinner, and they talk about how he's okay being patient like his father was. It's not my father's nerd pit. So they go back to town.
Not his nerd pit.
Yeah.
There were rules and regulations back then. Slowed us down. Fitzy was big in deregulating the nerd pit.
Oh, thank God. So Jesse the Face has basically been like trying not to annoy his new wife. And we've all been there, am I right, boys? The episode ends with Nathan seeing Elizabeth out on the town and says, welcome back, and walks away. And that, my friend, was When Calls the Heart of a Writer.
Puppets. They try to get hard, but they can't, even though they do it by lying, but they are just wooden hard. Puppets.
We're going to be right back here on Tech the Hallmark. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to...
What helped me this week is realizing I eat a credit card of plastic a week.
Yeah.
That helped me. Without that, this episode would have been just a real bummer.
It's time to break this episode down. I'm going to start with a hot take. Panda, what do you think about this episode, buddy?
Yeah, so here's the deal. Elizabeth is now the love triangle is kicking off, which was our hope last week, right? Like we got all excited about it. And I don't know if that was justified in retrospect, because they go to a book reading and it is they make eyes and that's good. And then Nathan's really sad and that's not so good. But yeah, that happened, and then the rest of the show moved on, and Hope Valley continues to turn with plots that don't mean anything, and just no characters I care about, and it's fine. It's just, am I hurt? Like, yeah. I mean, it just doesn't. There's no end, is there? Like, it's just going to keep happening.
Well, there is for you. It's like in a few weeks.
But I'm going to keep watching it. I'm stuck. Like, I realized as I was watching this, I was like, I can't not finish this because I need to watch the resolution of
just
Lucas
watch
and Nathan.
the season finales.
I won't though, because then I won't know.
But this is, you can't blame anyone.
I think you will. I think you will.
Right.
Know.
I can't blame anyone else, Dan. But I'm stuck.
Yes,
I am stuck
by your.
I am trapped in my own. A prison of my own making. I hate it. I hate it, but I am who I am, and so next week's going to be better.
So I can see When Calls the Heart fans, which I don't consider myself, to be fair. Really, really liking this episode. This episode has a lot going for it for fans of the show. Really? Yes. That's fascinating.
Because of the McGarrys.
Okay.
This
I can
is
see
a
that.
pro
So
Lucas.
I'll get there. I'll get there. So you've got Rosemary and Lee having a pretty funny time with Baby Jack.
Rosemary
this is classic. Like classic.
Find the toy. It's been under the cushion the whole time.
Classic sitcom.
I believe these hijinks.
So they did it. They did it there. You have Elizabeth finally doing something. There's forward motion at least, and going out on. She says it's not a date, and you know what? That's the thing with guys when they're into a girl. If the girl says it's not a date, they're able to just turn that switch right off, no problemo. Yeah. They don't see it as a date, and so neither do us, the viewers. We're all like, you know what? We're going to respect her wishes. We're going to respect her wishes. It's not a date.
That's right.
So it's not a date, but it is forward motion, and I can see it. Here's my problem with it as somebody who has watched a lot, and by a lot I mean every episode up until this point. I would have preferred. This would have been a lot better, a lot more exciting if they didn't suck all of the interesting things out of Lucas.
If it didn't just suck, really.
Well, they've made Lucas like a shell of who he was. He was a guy who smuggled in money under fish. And now he's just a guy who throws picnics and goes to readings.
Just puts money behind everything. That's all he does. He just pays for stuff.
And that's what sucks, man. Like, Nathan's legitimately out there chopping wood. He seems like a great guy. Yeah. Lucas is just the rich guy who gets the girl.
It all plays into why the McGarrys and the Nathan fans are more vocal than the Lucas fans. Is because the Lucas fans
are asleep.
The Lucas fans, well, we all should be asleep, but the Lucas fans are like Lucas probably, who's just biding his time, doing his best to plan a grand romantic gesture and letting the cards fall where they may. And then the Nathan fans are over there going, hey, this guy has like this everyday devotion and seems to be a natural fit. Why doesn't she see it? And so while that is interesting to those two groups of people, it does not make for captivating television, and it should, but it doesn't.
I just remember, was it last season, whenever they introduced Lucas, and we were all like, Lucas is clearly the guy, right? Like, he was a very interesting character, and I don't know, like, who in the writer's room said, let's scrap it.
Yeah.
Like, let's scrap him as a character and just not write a new character and just roll him out there as a flesh and bones. He is a human, I think, but like she can go on dates with him and people will like it because he's attractive, which he is. But they've taken all of the interesting things that Lucas had going for him in the first season that he was in, and they've stripped it from him. And all we have left now is, him just being boring AF.
So boring.
And I hate that because I was so pro Lucas early on. I don't know how I've come this far. I've never switched so quickly on a character in my life. So that's the hard thing, is this would have been an amazing episode of television if they actually had the real Lucas on this date with like
the real Lucas hasn't been around since season 6.
I'm just saying, he's the real Lucas. He's the real Lucas, and I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to him, But because of that, this episode wasn't as exciting or great as it could have been because they had a lot of things going for it on paper. Just unfortunately, that part of it just fell flat. Dan?
Back when all this was going down and Elizabeth was actually going to choose, in season 8, I remember we had not watched a single episode, and I remember saying, I feel very confident that it's going to be Lucas because there's no way if her Mountie husband died that they would have her end up with another Mountie. And what's sad is that I could have saved myself years and years of television, hours and hours of eye gouging, ear bleeding, awful TV because I was right. Like, the reason she's going to end up with Lucas is because you can't have all that PTSD.
Be too hard.
And have the true love at the same time. I'm sorry. Nathan is clearly the choice. It doesn't matter. He's a Mountie.
Well, but what's unfortunate is if she had seen him chop wood, I think that we wouldn't be having this conversation.
I think we all wouldn't be having it. But because they made him a Mountie, he never stood a chance. We did all this for nothing. Lucas is a shell of himself. Nathan just goes around pining and whining, and he's not going to get the girl because he's a Mountie. And for no other reason, none of it matters aside from that. And speaking of nothing matters, have you met this episode? Because holy cow, nothing matters. In your synopsis, Brand, you were like, Lucas asked to borrow Gowan's car. How is that a plot point? Only in this episode does that matter. In any other episode, you'd have been like, Lucas drives Elizabeth because there's bigger things to talk about. But in this episode, where time just slows to a screeching halt, we have time for every conversation because it is just useless out there. Oh my gosh. And you know what else? In any other TV show, the biggest wait what of the century would be they never actually show you the book reading. Lucas is like, I want to take you to see this book reading, Virginia Woolf. Yep. It's a big deal. In any other show, with any just hint of integrity, we'd be like, how did we not see this book reading? But in this show, I'd have been shocked if they showed it to us. That's true. It was just another day at the office. True. Bad. This is embarrassing. It's terrible. When's it over?
I'm glad they actually didn't show us the book reading because they would have messed it up somehow.
They would have found a way.
They would have besmirched Virginia Woolf's good name, and it would have just been tragic.
Real bad.
You said it, pal. It's time for all the feels. Payne, any feels for you in this episode?
Yeah. Yes, actually, yes. I thought there was a scene that's okay.
All right, okay. Here we go. Sit up.
When they are sitting there making eyes at each other over dinner post book reading, and they're sitting there, I was like, this is something we have not seen in several seasons since Jack. Like her,
Well, that's the tricky thing is let's talk about the actors real quick. Erin can have chemistry with anybody. I think that's she's so good at that, making you feel like she is really feeling things and she's so gifted
excellent at that. Yes,
Chris McNally is a quality actor, and the two of them do. I think the two of them do have chemistry. The problem is the guy isn't a real human, and so he's just a shell of himself.
Well, they've taken all the mystery out of him because they can't possibly have Elizabeth be falling for someone with anything other than
questionable. Anything questionable.
Any character that's not completely above reproach.
But she was held at gunpoint at some point because of this guy.
No, she was held at gunpoint because she went out there.
Oh my gosh, you get what? But the reason why she was held at gunpoint
point initially till you switched sides. That's why you're a big fat flopper boy.
She was
Brand's a big fat flopper boy. Brand's a big fat flopper boy.
You guys don't even have it in you tonight. You guys stop it.
We should have added fat in there. Big time flopper boy. Big time flopper boy. Big time flopper boy. Big time flopper boy.
So I'm sorry. I don't actually. What was I? What did I flop on, Dan?
You originally were like, Elizabeth just went over there, and then the next episode you're like, this is Lucas's fault.
Yeah. Okay.
Panda was like, Brand, buddy, I really want to have your back here, but
I can see where I'm coming from. In both opinions, I can see where I'm coming from. Because it is.
Brand is running for president in 2024.
Gosh, I wish. It is his fault.
In both of these instances, I can see
where I was
how
going.
I could be right.
Because it was his fault that the bad guys were there in the first place. It was her fault for walking through the door. So. It's everybody's at fault here. So yeah, you know what? I want to give credit because I have for a long time been hard on Lee and Rosemary, and like it just always feels like it's with those two, and it did. It was that way this week. They're it is very much like the Three Stooges, but there's just two of them. But it works for me in this particular storyline with the baby and the losing the thing. I don't know. It's the zaniness of it. I didn't hate it, so I just want to give credit to Lee and Rosemary as characters for finally having something that worked for me with them. Dan?
Yeah, you're just really. I don't even know if these are straws you're grasping at to say that Lee and Rosemary thing. No, search my heart, found nothing. I did absolutely nothing.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back here on Tech the Hallmark. Got good news, boys. We're back.
Yes.
Oh, finally.
Thank goodness.
It's time for the Wait What, a Spark Show. We talk about what in this episode of television made us go, wait, what? Panda?
Opal.
Oh, we're all
does
here.
The most Opal thing I've ever seen in my entire life. The teacher has not called for recess to end yet. And Opal comes in like a little dinkus. And
the recess over. Kick rocks, Opal.
Go
kick some big
rocks.
Stub a toe.
Opal. Who does that?
And like get older for once in your life.
Why
Opal.
do you think you are? There's not even a clock outside.
No.
You got a digital timepiece on, Opal? Are you
just
reading the
feels
sun?
like we're having too much fun. Stop it.
I held my hand straight up in the air, and the sun's past it, which means it's afternoon. Recess is over. You're the worst.
You're just the worst.
This is why
thing.
everybody has more homework, Opal.
Yep.
It's the ultimate way. How do they think they could slide that by?
Stop it.
We're all asleep by now?
That was too early in the show. If you're going to slip into Opal calling recess early, you got to push that to minute
38. Yeah.
Like Opal's getting a swirly, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
You're there just waiting
I was
outside in
mad.
the line.
Like,
This is the
and
one time where I'm like, Robert, do your worst.
And
Yeah,
to be
Robert,
fair,
get after
we
it.
are all
Where's that
very.
snail at?
To be fair,
In 3 to 5 months, she's got it.
she's got it coming. To be fair, we are all very anti-bullying, but she has it coming a little
If
bit.
you ask if shouldn't recess
When you
be
try to
over,
yeah,
Stop.
That's where-
that is the line. You
Yeah.
can't. Not in good faith. You can't.
And we do not support bullying.
no,
We have a lot of fun here at the
But if we
Hallmark.
were to support bullying, this would be the instance that we would support it.
Yeah.
But we don't.
We don't.
No.
But we don't.
but
we don't.
But if we
but-
don't.
Opal can kick rocks to the mines, to the nerd pit.
To the mines.
You don't want to put her in the nerd pit. She'll
She'll
never find her
drown.
way out. Sugar coma. We've seen it once before with Book.
What?
What is his name? His
You got it, Chief.
his name is Book.
Book.
Is he
Book
okay?
Gnarly.
Book Gnarly.
Yeah.
He got in a sugar coma,
Sugar coma.
but no one's
Yeah.
died, so he's out of the coma.
He took the no snort approach. He tried to win the nerds battle in the nerd pit, and he was
and
snorting
that can
them
send
he
you
eating them.
into a coma.
Sugar
That's a
coma.
terrible idea.
Yeah.
Is he good now?
Yeah. He's good. Yeah. He's good.
Paying anything else?
Glad
Mike?
to hear it from Book. Just
Shout out
trying
to Book.
There's a lot to process with that.
Book Gnarly if you're listening.
Every single time we watch the guys flirt with Elizabeth, they flirt one right after the other, which just makes me wonder, are these guys actually able to make a move apart from the other one watching? And
They're coordinating. They have a flirt. They have a flirt calendar, a flirt chart. They go in and they're like, all right, well, we'll. At
Flirt, it's a
9:15,
flirtograph.
I got my 9:15 flirtograph is top notch.
They've given each other like a tight 5 minutes, you know, each. Their timing.
They're
to do
gentlemen.
their
What can I
worst.
say?
Yeah.
Finally, Elizabeth could not communicate less clearly if she tried about going to the Virginia
Oh, my
Woolf thing.
gosh.
She sits there and she comes up to Lucas and she goes, I would love to go. Pause. But I just don't feel like I can. Well, unless it wasn't a date, then maybe I could. Stop it. No one knows where you're going with that sentence. No one. It's like when Rake starts saying something.
Yeah.
No one knows where it's going.
But he, like,
It's classic Rick.
you can't possibly think that it's not a date. You can't possibly, like, I think what they're trying to do so poorly is portray that she does have feelings for Lucas, but doesn't want to admit them out loud or overtly do anything that would betray her own feelings.
Right.
Yeah, but the problem is that sentence has a higher IQ than that entire episode.
That's true.
Because they just don't, it just looks like she's like, well, if it's not a date, just as friends. Look, cars just got invented, lady.
Yep.
You don't take some girl to a big city to see her favorite author and buy, like, it's not a date. Get out of here.
Stop it. Stop it, Lizzie.
Well, you took him to like a matinee of Mighty Ducks. Like, this is like a... You're
Quack.
right. That's romantic too.
Quack.
And that's on me.
Quack. 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 Quack.
Go Dogs!
Gosh, I love the Mighty Ducks. Cake eater. I just have a few. At one point, I do believe that Baby Jack is rocking some Uggs, 1917 edition Uggs. Shout out. They are comfy AF. They're walking by and they can hear keyboard clicking from the outside.
Yeah. But couldn't hear the rain when they had the record player going last night. So
they can hear that's wild. Carson needs to take it down a notch with his clicking.
It's too much.
It's too much.
Going
Dan?
hard.
Yeah. So Lucas is in a super big rush to leave. He's waiting for Elizabeth outside the school. He checks his timepiece numerous times. We got to get on the road. We're going to be late for this. Cut to them having tea in a field. And I, for the life of me, in 1917, I just don't know how you could be that rushed for time and still have time to sit in a meadow with a blanket and tea. You can't do both of those things. But maybe it's because they're going to go like for some serious drinks at dinner. Because after the reading, he says that they're going to start with a bottle of wine. That's how they're going to start. We're going to kick this evening off by splitting an entire bottle of wine. We're doing this thing. And then lastly, I'm glad that you think Lee and Rosemary's thing is adorable, Brian.
Didn't say adorable.
You thought it was great.
I just said
awesome. 2 thumbs up for Bran. How in the world, we've all lost one of our kids' toys, or our kids have lost it and blamed it on us, one or the other.
All fair.
How is it that you spent a full day and haven't checked just behind the pillows of the couch? Not the couch cushions, mind you, not under the couch. If you just removed a pillow, a singular pillow, thing sitting right there, you're not even trying at that point.
Nope.
That is just 101. And you don't even have to have kids. It's a stuffed animal. Look under a pillow for the love of everything good and decent. That's all I got.
It's time for Hopes and Valleys.
Anybody has a hope and throwing something.
Panda?
Well, we saw what Lucas can do. I'm ready to see what Nathan
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying this is my hope. We got a Lucas date. Like now we have to do it. It's a teat for teat situation. We have to have a Nathan date, right?
You have to have
next
a Nathan
episode.
Date. But then,
and didn't you say next episode is highly rated?
Yes.
It's got to be a McGarry date, right?
It's a McGarry date.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
It's got to be, and I'm here for that.
And I'm telling you, Nathan's going to take it to the next level.
And another hope is that I hope that I get to see Nathan chopping wood again because good Lord.
Man, he crushed it.
That was magic. That was magic.
Dude, and you could see he was really chopping.
He was chopping that wood.
Have you seen the gif of Palaha and Rocky Mountain?
Yeah.
It's clearly fake.
Yeah.
Like clearly like he's decelerating because he's going through. Juxtapose that to Kevin McGarry.
Oh, he's
going whole hog.
Oh, he
is
whole hog.
just absolutely crushing, chopping that wood. Like just unbelievable. Yeah, none of just the valley of the thing that we're still doing this, and it's awful.
do we have a What's Calling My Heart email?
Of course we do, Brand.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Email us, hello@deckthehallmark.com. Tell us what's calling your heart. Yeah, I would say we need, we're running out of space here, gang. If you've always wanted to have a What's Calling My Heart read, we need about 15 more for the entire series. So
Wow.
you probably need to get that email in ASAP.
But I mean, the show's still going.
Yeah, it could need some more. That's right. Katie Shea.
Katie Shea?
Yeah, Katie Shea emailing, and this is, I've not read this yet. Dear Bran, Panda, and Dan, I've been a faithful listener since Dan called Rocky Mountain Christmas a dog turd.
Wow.
And
Happy
in the
anniversary.
follow-up podcast, Bran asked Chris Palaha how he felt about his movie being called a dog turd. What's calling my heart is that without your podcast, I would not watch Hallmark at all. I used to watch all the movies years ago, but I made the mistake of watching Cedar Cove. I swore that I would never watch another Hallmark series after that. Around that time, the quality of the Christmas movies, I don't know, maybe Cedar Cove was terrible.
Whoa.
It does
Can
have
someone fill me in on that?
Jesse Metcalf in it, doesn't it?
No, that's Chesapeake Shores.
Oh, then I don't know.
Cedar Cove is the Brennan Elliott.
Oh, Brennan
show.
Elliott.
Oh, I don't know.
I got nothing. Around that time, the quality of the Christmas movies went way downhill.
Sure.
I was about to skip them when your podcast came out. I enjoyed the podcast so much, I had to continue watching all the Hallmark Christmas movies. Then it became an exciting challenge for me to watch all the Christmas movies before you guys reviewed them. However, for the really horrible ones, listening to you guys first makes the movies far more tolerable. Hallmark really owes you guys big time. I love the cast interviews and the addition of Alonzo Duralde and Patrick Serrano. Turner Classic Movies is my go-to channel as I prefer old movies.
Yep.
Yes, in black and white. Sorry, Bran.
Whatever.
Also, I'm too afraid to watch all those murder, stalker, Lifetime movies, but I love that Bran and Patrick do it for me. Too funny when Bran is fast-forwarding the sex scenes and Patrick is watching them in slow-mo. All right, well, there's that. I just wanted to mention that a Reba McEntire Lifetime movie is coming out about a judge in my town. It's called The Hammer. I have seen the judge once, but never been in her courtroom. She is known for giving away chocolate candy gavels at local events and fundraisers.
What?
If you're a judge, you can't do that, can you?
Sure you can.
You're supposed to be impartial. You're giving the kids chocolate gavels? I thought maybe you guys might review it when it airs. Here's a link to our local news highlighting the judge and the movie. Anyway, a big thank you for keeping me entertained and making me laugh. I really appreciate it, especially in these crazy times. P.S. You really got my hopes up when you first started reviewing Signed, Sealed, Delivered. I was so excited to find out that Norman Reedus was in the show. I love him from the Boondock Saints, and I thought that maybe Hallmark was a chance for him to deviate from the Walking Dead typecast. Unfortunately, I found out that there was no Norman Reedus in Signed, Sealed, Delivered, but only Norm and Rita. Watch Cedar Cove at your own risk. Kate, thank you so much, Katie Shea.
What a great email. Thank you so much.
Email.
Get your email in before it's too late. Hello,
It's too late to email the guys.
It's too late. Hello, Hallmark.com. You can do that. We're going to be back tomorrow with Christmas list from 2016.
My grown up.
Nope. Just different Christmas. It's a standard Christmas list for kids and adults alike. Until then, we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is the That Sounds Fun podcast. It's produced by Tracy Noah's name. It's recorded live in that Greenville, South Carolina. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com.